Welcome back to News Insight. As you can see, we are all wearing our hats. Compliments of the season, everybody. Today, this particular topic is about celebration. We're going to be celebrating the newly elected president of Namibia. And fortunately, she's a woman and she's the first female president in Namibia. So I have Engineer Kingsley with me. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
And I have Barrister Philip with me. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure always.
Engineer Kingsley, please, can you shed more light on this particular news?
No, it's a good news. It's a good news. She's been vice president for a while, so it's a good news. And a reasonable amount of people voted her. I think about 57% of the registered voters, and they have about 1.5 million registered voters. You know, Namibia, by landmass, is a vast country, but by population I think it's probably the least populated. Densely, in terms of density.
Yes.
You know, I think by population they're about 2 point something, just slightly above 2 million or 2.6 million thereabout. Okay. So it's still a small country by population.
Yes.
Okay, if you have about 57% of registered voters voting for you, and the next to her was got about 25%, it shows the people are in support of her candidacy. Okay, congratulations to her once more. And you know, I think I said it in this studio before that women should jump into position of leadership as much as possible and as much as admissible. Okay, because Margaret Thatcher said something at the time. Said, if you want to get something done, hire a woman. You know, I'm not saying the corruption we have all over the places is a gender-based thing, because some women has also been accused of corruption.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but we need more women to show themselves. We need them to come on board. And generally, women are very good managers. They are natural managers. They are natural managers. You can't take that away. They are natural managers. So I'm hoping she's going to bring that feminine managerial ability to manage the resources of Namibia, and also to grow the acceptance and acceptability of their kind of governance, because they have been in power. This same party have been in power since, I think, 1990, since they almost gained independence or thereabouts. I don't think they have had opposition win any election. So she needs to get their buy-in. Okay? She needs to get their buy-in, and it's very, very important. Congratulations to her.
Thank you very much.
And to Africa.
I think she's the first female
No,
president.
she's not. We had in Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf.
That's true.
She was the president.
So she's among the best hitters. Barrister Philip, do you Engineer Kingsley said something. He said when you want to get a job done, you should hire a woman. Do you share the same sentiments?
Yes, I did. But in this regard, Africa still have a long way to go. Yes, she won the election. She won by 75% or so. The next person is 25%. But there are issues with the election. There are complaints that people queue for over 12 hours, no voting material, and they left. And the opposition is saying, oh, it was a deliberate act to frustrate voters who are prepared to vote against the ruling party. Like I said, they've been in power since they are independent. So this thing with Africa, I know there's no free and fair election, entirely free and fair election in anywhere in the world, but it's so rampant in Africa, and the level is too crude. How can you make voters who came out to cast their vote to wait for 12 hours without seeing ballot paper or whatever to cast their vote? And now you have been declared a winner. Congratulations to her. Like I said, let her manage the resources of Namibia to the benefit of the people of Namibia. But the truth remains that, yes, if you want a good job done, hire a woman. I agree with him entirely, but not by election. It's by employment. Because you are going to assess the woman's credentials, and then you are going to employ her. You know, women, they are good managers because they are emotional about everything they are doing. If they put their heart to it, or like men who want to satisfy A, B, C, D before they satisfy what they are employed to do. I agree with that to that extent, but in this regard, I'm not entirely happy with the election of Namibia that produced the woman president.
So are you trying to say because she was, because the election was not free and fair, that means that she won't bring like the managerial, because she said something. She said you have to employ the person and not elect if you want a woman.
Yeah.
So at that place where it was a bit unclear.
Yes, so what I'm saying in essence is this. There's nothing wrong in electing a woman or her to be president. In this studio, Engineer Christian had made a point. Whether the person is ringing to office or is being elected free and fairly, if the person gets there and represents the interests of the people, it's a win for the people. To that, I have no issue. But my issue here is Africa should wake up. It shouldn't be on the story at all time that when Africa organizes election, there's one negative story or the other. Even with a country like Namibia that is well organized, because I envy that country because they have resources and they are well managed. Their lifespan is so good. Everything about their economy is good. Come to an election, simple election of people, less than 2 million people. They cannot organize a simple, free and fair election. It's sad. It's just the black skin thing.
Thank you very much, Pastor Philip. Exactly. So, do you think they said, observers said that the election was being plagued with by widespread and deliberate inefficiencies? Does this cover the fact that, there's the negative side of it, there's the positive side of the positive side being that she is the first female president in Namibia, the negative side being that the election was not free and fair. It was played with irregularity.
Yes, I do not subscribe to any electoral process that is intentionally played to favor any candidate, whether a man or a woman. I was just celebrating that a woman won the election and she's got the experience as a vice president. Okay, and I think we should also get to know the statistics of how many locations where did the voting extend to the 12 hours. I saw the report that people had to wait for as long as 12 hours, like he lamented.
Yes.
How many voting locations? You understand me? How does it affect the entire result? You understand me? If those people never waited for 12 hours, would their opponent had won?
Yes.
If it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the result, it means she still earned the winning. Because even though you take this case, let's just take in a soccer. We play penalty 5-5. But once the other side has scored 2 ahead of you, and you are playing the last or the second one, you are not longer allowed to play the final one. Do you know why? Even though you still score that, it's never going to change the outcome of the result. So that goal is not significant. Okay? Why in the entire Africa, even everywhere, should make effort to ensure election is free and fair. The question in this case is if those things are significant, would it have changed the outcome of the result? So it's possible it wouldn't. You understand me? Because Namibia is just registered voters were just 1.5 million people. So what amount of people waited for that time? And after the waiting, were they still able to vote or were they disenfranchised? Those are the questions not too clear now. You understand? But I believe they could do better. Not only them, but issues of opposition crying foul. It's not strange. Even as big as Donald Trump was crying election leaked until he won. Sure, he was crying to the eve of election until he wasn't rigged the day and he won. Oppositions are very good with orchestrating any lotative. If there is a breakdown of one vehicle conveying voting materials and it couldn't get to the destination, they will snap it and say, the voting materials couldn't get to the destination. Do you understand? And mind you, I'm not speaking for women. This being a woman, a lot of people are going to find means to discredit it, to make it look like she was gifted. Because anytime a woman rises to a position of power, they say, oh, she slept her way down there, blah, 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 blah. The men that go, I don't know who they sleep with. So eventually, eventually, you're not going to remove all this, particularly in African setting. Do you understand? Particularly in African setting. So any electoral process that should get better should get better. Yes. In Namibia, in South Africa, in Nigeria, in America, everywhere, it should get better. You understand? So the issues of electoral process denying the outcome, I am happy the woman is elected. I'm hopeful she is able to serve the people of Namibia.
Yes. coming to serving the people of Namibia, she said while she was campaigning, she promised to attract investment and generate jobs through economic diplomacy. She said, okay, that's mostly what she campaigned. Do you think that she'll be able to bring this thing, like she will bring to fruition? She'll be able to manifest these things that she has stated?
Yes, the president-elect in Namibia is a very experienced person. She's been vice president. Even as we speak, she's the sitting vice president. So, which means he had a lot of knowledge about governance. And she has had good interaction with the international communities. So she knew what she was talking about. I have no doubt that she will do what she promised to do. Being a woman, I give it to women. They are not like men that can easily be swayed. Like he said, nobody's going to entice, or they are going to say, oh, they use women to entice him. She is a woman, and she's an old woman for that matter. So I am very, very sure she will serve the people of Namibia, or we pray that she will serve the people of Namibia. Yeah. We also pray that God give her good health, considering her age. So
that's true.
Because we have had similar case in South Korea, where the prime minister, or rather the head of government, her own friend, the lady, was charged for corruption for, I think, about $1 billion and all that, and it was just sometime like 3 years back. For me, I have confidence in her, that she will do well. But don't forget that in Liberia, the woman she mentioned didn't do very well. We hope that after her reign, Liberia will progress.
And she didn't do well.
But she didn't do well. So as she's a woman, an African
so it's not by woman.
It's not by being a woman.
It's not by being a woman.
So, but in her own case, she's been vice president, okay? And Namibia has a stable economy.
When she was vice president,
let me be honest with you. Namibia has one of the best economy in Africa. A lot of billionaires are moving from their country to Namibia. And let me tell you, when people ask for change, cite Nigeria, for example. When people ask for change, you got to be worried. And when international observers are not liking what you are doing as Africa, most likely you are doing the right thing.
That's true.
Most international observers are looking for this change. Africa needs stability more if you are doing well. Look at Gaddafi. Look at what happened in Libya. Libya was one of the best countries in the whole world until they realized that someone else needed to be president, until they realized that another opposition or whatever needed to come on board. Which opposition when the country is one of the best? Why do you want to change a winning team?
That's true.
Why do you want to change? If they need to coronate her, let them coronate her. Because let me tell you, in the UK, for example, we have had kings. Queen Elizabeth was there for many years. Did you change her?
No.
They only changing prime ministers. Prime ministers who the queen can remove if she wants. Do you know that in England, the king is above the law? The king is the law. You don't know?
Of course.
Do you know what it means that I'm above the law? If you are somebody's wife, I can take you home and sleep with you. I can't be tried. I can steal. So they are relying on me not stealing, not wanting to steal. They are relying on me being a good person. I can kill anybody. You can't try me. That is being practiced in England today. And nobody's changing it.
Tomorrow.
Nobody's talking about it. So Namibia is doing well. Very, very well. I'm having my friend is aware of that they have very stable economy. They are doing well, very, very well. They shouldn't change. That's how they should change to Nigeria, and look at where Nigeria is today. So when you want to change, and once these international observers are saying all this as an African and a pure Pan-African, I will tell you, watch it. Watch it. They are going to do everything to ensure she fails or their people do not see her to be doing well. But she's well experienced, and I pray God be with her.
I agree with him. Yes, like our own story, for example, in 2015, between 2010 and 2015, we had the biggest economy in Africa.
The fastest
growing economy in Africa.
Yes.
Everything was, on the fast lane. They said, they brought Gay to Jonathan. And he said, no, I can't do this. And then the Obama, the Hillary, the Clintons, everybody were against him. And they went and hired the Tinubus, the Buhari, and all of that, and said, change. And Nigeria bought into it. And we don't need to tell you what we are all experiencing today. So
Thank you.
when he said, if the Western world will quote and say that these people are bad, as an African,
Wash it.
Thank you very much, Barrister Philip. Thank you very much,
Thank
Kinsley. Thank you for opening our eyes to so many things with this topic. I'm your host, Victor. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.